Happy Wednesday and welcome to Convos. Each and every Wednesday, we bring women that are winning in their particular industries. Today, I have the honor and the pleasure of co-hosting with Miss Sabrina Walker-Hernandez, the CEO and founder of Supporting World Hope, right? So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let our listeners know who you are and how you can help them.
Yes, so my name is Sabrina Walker-Hernandez, and I help small businesses and nonprofits build relationships that increase revenue. That's what I do. Everybody always asks about how do you, as a nonprofit, like how do you raise money or how do you work with the board? And then on the small business side, the same thing. I just did a training for a bank on sales. And it really is all about building relationships. If you want to increase your revenue, whether that's you're selling to a customer or you're trying to acquire a donor, it's all about building relationships. So that's what I teach people to do, how to build those relationships.
I love that. I love that. How long have you been doing this for?
Oh, I've been in this industry for over 25 years. I started out, I ran a nonprofit and I took the revenue from $750,000 to $2.5 million. I did a $12 million comprehensive capital campaign. And my organization was located along the Texas-Mexico border in the third poorest county in the United States.
Wow. So you're in Texas now?
Yes, I'm in Texas now. I live about 10 miles from Mexico. When people ask me where I live, and I say, they go San Antonio, I said deep South Texas. And then they go San Antonio. I said, no, keep going 3 hours. And then they go Corpus Christi. I said, no, keep going. And I said, you know that little dip that kind of dips right there into Mexico? That's where I live.
Oh,
That's
wow. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So,
So do you
I'm
travel to
about
Mexico like
11
often?
hours from you, I think. Yeah.
Yes, because San
11 hours.
Antonio is a good, yeah, it's about 10 to 12.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
like
gotta,
coming to your hometown though, girl.
you gotta do
I'm
the
making
speed
it a
limit a little
trip.
bit.
Yeah, I'm making it to a trip. It's 5 hours to Houston. I go drive to Houston, and then from Houston to New Orleans is 6 hours. So I know it. I know it like the back of my hand.
Yes, yes. New Orleans to Houston is a blink of an eye.
Yes,
But when
yes.
you talking San Antonio or a little further,
Yeah.
I might not come. I'm just
Yeah, it is. It's a little trick. It's a little trick, but I enjoy what I do, and I like where I live at. It's different,
Mhm.
but it has shown that it has really highlighted to me relationships are the key. It doesn't matter race. It doesn't matter gender, as long as you have relationships. And
Yes.
one of the things that I know is people will discriminate against you because of your color. They'll discriminate against because of your gender. But if you work and you make them look good, at the end of the day, they don't care about your gender and your color. They're like, oh, they're good. Oprah
Exactly.
says, be so good at what you do that, people will I can't remember how she exactly says it, but it's basically saying be so good at what you do that people cannot disregard you.
And see, that's something that I was just posting the other day. I was like, it's cool to like be seeking knowledge and seeking out things, but once you become an expert, you're supposed to be being sought after. And somebody just posted like you shouldn't have to post 5 times a day to bring more visibility to your business, and you shouldn't have to go live all day and beg for business, and you shouldn't have to do certain things, right, that the industry status quo is telling you that you need to be doing. You need to be doing all of these things to be successful in business. And it's not always true, right? Because when you have built a brand, or when
Yes.
you're building a brand, they'll come look for you because
Yes.
they know, like for me, they know Carter Capital is the best world
Yes.
development firm, the only world development firm. They already know, they already have the expectations set high, and we
Mhm.
just have to meet the standard, right?
Right.
And so same thing, you should apply the same. Business owners, whoever's listening, if you are not a business owner, you're an aspiring business owner, you already need to know, I have this in me. I am the best at what I do, even if you're still practicing. When I
Yes.
used to bake cakes, I didn't have a clue, right? It came out beautiful
Yes.
because I just knew how to bake, and then I can, okay, you say you want this flavor, okay, I can mix that
Yeah.
flavor, I can make it. So it might not look 100% like what you want, but once you put a fork in it and you take
And
that
you
first
eat
bite,
that cake. It's the best
you
daggone
coming
cake.
back. I'm
Yes.
gonna keep you coming back. Same
Yep.
thing with my
Yep.
tax experience. I'm gonna keep you coming back, and it's not just like you said. A lot of people don't care who at my company is doing their taxes because I've built a relationship. I've set the foundation. And
Yes.
it's interesting enough that you wanted to talk about leadership today.
Yes.
Like that's your top topic. You
Yeah.
say leadership. You picked your topics and you say,
Yeah.
I want to talk about leadership. So let's talk about leadership. What is leadership to you?
So, I go by this approach called the build approach.
Mm-hmm.
And so the B stands for brand. Brand yourself, right? Brand yourself as a hard worker. Brand yourself as someone with credibility. Just like you just said, you know what? When I was doing this, I did it to the best of my ability.
Ability. Exactly.
And
Yep.
so that's what you want to do. When people think of you, you want them to think of that, right? And so sometimes, especially in the small business world and the nonprofit world, we're so busy as entrepreneurs doing that we forget to plan and to be efficient. You do
Yep.
have to take some time to plan. You can't always wing it. And people won't see you working till 4 o'clock in the morning. They won't see you working till 2 o'clock in the morning. What they will see is you showing up and prepared. So you've branded yourself as someone who is prepared. So make sure that you brand yourself. That's what the B is for
Mhm.
in that. And when we're talking, the U is for like, unleash their potential. So you just said it, you say I have some employees. So the goal as a leader, one of the goals is to empower those around you, is
Mhm.
to unleash their potential. Whether you're working with a board of directors in a nonprofit, whether you're working with your staff, when you have staff, you have to be able to delegate. You have to be able to un- unleash unleash what those people have inside of them. And it's hard. And I'll say this: it is
So
hard.
wait, all right, stop right there. Don't forget your train
Mhm.
of thought
Uh-huh.
because me and my assistant literally just had like a 3-hour conversation about this, and she is watching too. So me and Kristen was just talking, and I was saying I don't want it to be my assignment, right, as the leader to have to drag you along, to have to try to build you up, to have to mold your mindset. You have to already have the confidence in yourself to say, I am the person for the job.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
what is the job? What is the description of this job? What is my role and responsibility? How can I execute this? No
Yeah.
matter if you're the CEO or if you are a person contributing to the CEO's success or the success of the company, what are you doing to contribute to that? I can't unleash that in you, right? So I'm loving the build method. So go ahead,
Yeah.
continue. I just wanted to drop that tidbit
Yeah,
in.
it's true. You got to come to the table. That's why that B is so important. You got to come to the table with some of your own initiatives. And then once you come to the table with your own initiatives, as a good leader, you can unleash that in people. That means you bought it. You have it. I want to be good at this job. I
Exactly.
want to learn to take the initiative. But sometimes, and I was going to say for me, what's one of my struggles, because we all have struggles and none of us is perfect. One of my
Right.
struggles is sometimes helping people unleash it because I am, how do you say it? Let's say it, Sabrina. I'm a control freak sometimes.
I
Okay.
think everybody have a little
A
bit.
little
Everybody
bit.
has a
And
little bit.
so, yeah, so sometimes I'm like, I ain't got time to teach you how to do this. I'll just do it
Okay, so
myself.
what about if you don't have the time, right? But you got
Mhm.
the tools, you got the systems, you got the knowledge, you got the resources, and you do per se teach them or coach them or
Mhm.
mentor them. What they do with it is not your responsibility
No,
either. And
no.
I think that as entrepreneurs, we guilt ourselves and we say, "Oh man, this person should be further along." Like I can see so much. I might can see
Mhm.
so much in Sabrina and what
Yeah.
she's doing with supporting World Hope.
Right.
Right. I can say, oh my God, I see this for you. You should do this. You should do, and you might not do nothing with it.
Right, because that's not
That's
your
not your
drive. That's
vision.
not what you want to do. That's not
That's
your
not what you want to do. You
yeah.
don't see it. You don't
You don't
see it.
see
So
it.
I
Yeah.
can't see more for you, or I cannot continue to push more into you that you don't want. You're not even
Right.
receiving it. You're not even saying, okay, you put these tires on my car. You
Right.
put the wheels on. Okay, I just need to put gas in it. Y'all don't even want to put gas in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to want it. The person has to want it for themselves. No matter how much you mentor or coach or do those things, if that person doesn't want it, it's not going to happen.
Correct.
So if you take it from, let's take it from staff, let's take it to for board, since I know a lot of people on here
Let's do board.
also,
Yeah,
yeah,
nonprofit.
nonprofit. So let's take it from a board. Let's say you give the board member the script, you give them the speaking points, you send them the email, you send them everything. Well, you
Mhm.
can't be the one to open up the email for them so they can read it. You
Uh-oh.
can't be the one
Uh-oh,
to, you know,
Sabrina.
you just can't. So what do you have to do? At some point, you have to say, okay, how much time am I going to invest in this person who doesn't want it? And sometimes you have to learn when it's to walk away. And you have to
Okay.
have those difficult conversations where you say, maybe this is not a fit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And is that a difficult conversation? Yes, it is a
Yes, it
difficult
is. It
conversation.
is. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's as an entrepreneur, it's a conversation that you have to have sometimes.
Absolutely. First of all, you have to get used to being uncomfortable. As
Yes,
an entrepreneur, as a person, as
yes,
you grow, you're going to be uncomfortable, right? You
yes.
get a little bit taller, you're stretching out some stuff, you get a
Hmm.
little bigger, you get a little smaller. Whatever position you're growing in, you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's gonna be times where you don't know what's happening right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. And people, what they say now, life is life in, and
Yes, life is life, and girl.
cool. But I had a conversation with another young lady not too long ago, and she was like, life is life, and that could mean whatever you want it to mean. So it's still about perspective.
Right.
Everything is gonna go back to mindset.
Yes.
Everything is going to go back to mindset, whether you're on a board, whether you are the CEO, whether
Yep.
you are a contractor, whether you are an employee, right? And so
Yep.
I think that leadership is an important quality to have, but also a leader with the right mindset.
Oh, dangerous. They can get so much accomplished. So much accomplished. And it's you're right. It starts with the mindset. It all starts with the mindset. And that's where the B is when you're branding yourself, what is your mindset? So
Mhm.
do you have a mindset of scarcity? Or do you have a mindset of abundance? We can always, all of us can come up with challenges as to why we're not getting something done. You can have that scarcity mindset, or you can have that abundance mindset. It could
Yep.
be there's enough money out here that we can all get some of it. Or it could be, well, there's no money out here where everybody's competing for the same dollars. So
Mhm.
we can't get any. That's two different mindsets. So
It's
you
two
gotta have, you
completely
have,
different mindsets. It's two
yeah,
completely different mindsets.
it's completely different mindsets, and how your mindset works is going to affect your results at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what you're doing, it's going to affect your results. And so that's so the I
Mhm.
is inspire them. So you have to inspire your employees. You have to inspire your board. You have to inspire all of your stakeholders. And when I say inspire, especially in the nonprofit world and
Mhm.
even in the for profit world, tell the story. So, how did this company start? We have HEB in Texas, right? So, HEB is always telling their founder story of how it started in this little shack, this grocery store.
I'm
Started in
so glad you went there. Oh, keep going.
right?
I'm so glad you went there.
So now they get this little shack. Now this is a multi-million dollar company. So
Hmm.
they tell the story. They inspire people. It's the same thing. You got to tell the story. Why did this nonprofit start? How are we benefiting clients? Your business. How did we start this business? Oh, I started this business. We heard from Apple. They started their business in the garage, right? They love talking about that story. We know they ain't making them phones in their garage right now, but they still try to identify as the company that started in the garage. So you
Yeah.
got to inspire people. You got to tell that story about We started here and now we're here, but we still want to have that same scrappy mentality. We don't want to get comfortable being there. So how are you inspiring the people around you? If you have a goal in your company to raise revenue, how are you inspiring those people around you? You can't just talk about money all the time.
Oh,
you can't.
That's my conversation, though. I talk about money.
I know you talk about money, but why? Why are you talking about money? Why do you want to raise money?
Okay.
Why? It's you want to raise money because you want to do a better quality of life for your family. You want your employees to have a better quality of life. You want them to. We want to have health benefits. We want to impact the world. We want to provide these services because the community deserves these services. There is a why.
Understand financial literacy and build a different relationship with money.
That's your why. So talk about the why. It's not just about the money. Well, the money will make the why happen, right? But
also the why makes the money happen.
Exactly. So talk about the why as well, not just the money. So, and then the L is leverage the connections. And for me, a good leader leverages connections. You don't put people in spaces where they're going to fail.
Okay.
You make sure you got the people in the right spot in the right seat on the bus. And you need to make sure it's okay to change out positions. I've dealt with this. It's okay. It's okay to change out positions.
Girl, what? Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm about to shout up in here because this is literally our whole conversation. And I've had this conversation earlier with my friend too, because we always talk about our loyalty and how, people depend on us, but can we depend on people? And it's not that you want to depend on people, but you still want to know that there's somebody out there that you can depend on in the event you got to depend on somebody.
Yep. And so they say, what they say is check on your strong friends.
Ooh, and that has been literally the quote of the year. Check on your strong friends. Check on your strong. That means if somebody that's strong, that's saying check on your strong friends, they're literally at their breaking point.
Yes. And so you need to recognize that as a leader, right? And if you have employees that they're at their breaking point, give them some mental health days. If you have let's say a board member that asking for money is not their forte, don't make them ask for money.
Right. You have to amplify their strengths.
And particularly in a nonprofit world, I will say this. A lot of people think that people are valued by how much money they can ask for. And that's not the case. It is how many relationships can you build? Because 60% of fundraising is relationships. Even in a sales community, it's about relationships. So having that's how we started this whole conversation, is having those relationships is the key to sales, is the key to fundraising. And so when you are putting people in positions where they're not shining in their strengths, you are not just hurting that person, you're hurting your organization.
That's a word.
So you just have to remember that. Not just about that individual, it's about your organization. And so make sure that you're dealing with all of that. And so, and then the D is discover their story. And it goes back to relationships. Look, as a leader, and this was hard for me too, because I used to do 360 evaluations. And the 360 evaluations are when you have someone that supervises you, which is usually my board, evaluate you. And then you have someone that you supervise evaluate you. And it's an anonymous evaluation. And so what are my feedback? And I still have it 20 years later. Basically, they would come into my office And I'm multitasking. So I'm sitting on my computer and I'm doing something. And they
Oh,
will come
that's
talk to
wait,
me.
girl, you're giving me so many
Yeah.
points.
They would come talk to me and I'd be like, I wouldn't stop what I was doing. I'd be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And that made them feel disregarded. Because I was about the work. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm here to do a job
Mm-hmm.
and I'm about the work.
Mm-hmm.
But what I had to realize to be a good leader, I had to take the time to discover their story. I had to stop what I was doing, turn and give eye contact. I had to take breaks from my office and my computer to go to their office and say, how was your weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Or and when it related to board members, I had to call them and say, would you like to go to lunch?
Mm-hmm.
I had to make
Step
those,
out of your comfort zone.
yes, out of my comfort
Because
zone.
leaders can get complacent too.
Yes. Yes, they can. And they will fall into where their strengths are. And my strength is the administrative, the tick, tick, tick. You want this done? This is how we're going to do it. I got your plan in. I got all of that.
Right.
Was not as good with the human piece. Not as good with the human piece because I found out, I don't know if anybody's ever taken the strength finders. Have you ever done the strength finders? It's a good one if you can. It's a test that'll tell you what you are.
Okay.
And I'm a activator. So
Okay.
what that means is I love to do projects and accomplish goals, but at the end of the day, the goal is never accomplished. So it's like you do this project, you do this, and you scratch it off, and you don't celebrate. You just move on to the next thing.
And that was the thing for me. Like people always say, "Oh, you just always on the go, or you always motivating me, or you're
Mm-hmm.
so inspirational. How you keep going and how you help people and you want to see people win, et cetera, et cetera." But you have to celebrate small wins. I don't care if I get one sale today. I'm celebrating that one sale today.
Yeah.
Y'all, I just got a sale. Y'all,
Yeah.
I just got a new person that signed up for my mentorship. Y'all, I just got a new text client. Y'all, I submitted 10 text clients
Yeah.
today. Whereas there's somebody that is not even celebrating the one client that they got. If you are a new tax professional, you should celebrate that you got one new client because this is a brand new business. This is a brand new skill that you just got. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
need to celebrate that. If you're a
Yeah.
hairstylist, you need to celebrate somebody just booked on your site. If you're a nonprofit organization, you need to celebrate that somebody wants to be on your board, that somebody
Mm-hmm.
wants to donate.
Mm-hmm.
People need to celebrate every single win that they have. It's not bragging. There's days that you're not going to have a win to
Yeah.
celebrate.
Yeah.
And that's the
And you're
part that
so
a lot of
true.
people are saying, oh, entrepreneurs don't talk about this part. They don't talk about the part where you up at 3 in the morning. They're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about where you taking losses and you're not talking about it. They're not talking about the days when you don't feel like it. They're not talking
Yep.
about the days when you sick. But if we talk about it, if we telling you every single piece of it, right? Because we know that social media is just highlights. We know
Mm-hmm.
that we get a cameraman to come make us pose, fold our arms, get a good headshot, get a good behind the scenes of your photos. That's cute. That's
Yeah.
cute, right? That's all
Mm-hmm.
good. But are you making an impact? Are you able to take this content that you just posted and make it convert to a sale in
Right.
order for you to achieve the ultimate goal, right? If
Mm.
you're in business to make money. Even
Yeah.
nonprofits make money. Am I
Yeah.
right?
You're exactly right. You're a nonprofit is, thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Nonprofit is just a tax designation.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a business
Break it
model.
down for us. Break
You
it
have
down.
started a business. When you start a nonprofit, you have started a business. And most people get shocked by that because they
Mm-hmm.
think they started a nonprofit and then all of a sudden all these grants are going to fall from the sky.
Uh-oh.
Grants
Uh-oh.
don't fall from the sky. They
The
don't.
myth is dispelled, huh?
Yeah, it is dispelled. You are not grant eligible until about 3 years in. And when I say grant eligible, I'm not talking about your Walmart or your Costco grants and
Mm-hmm.
those type of grants. I'm talking about your state grants, your foundation grants, your federal grants. And then there's some lucky ones that might get a federal grant, especially if it's like the hot topic. Let's say like mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might get a federal grant. But what most people don't realize is with those grants, It's reimbursable. That
Okay.
means you have to have the money to spend the money, and then the government will reimburse
Give
you
you
the
the
money.
money back.
So if you just started out, you
And
ain't
you
got
don't
no
have the
cash flow.
money.
Yes. So it's always eye opening for people, and usually how that conversation starts is someone said, "Oh, you should start a nonprofit," and they think, "Okay," and not realizing they started a business. It's the same thing. It's the
Process.
same
And more
process.
paperwork.
And more paperwork. And now, not only that, you have a board of directors trying to tell you what to do.
Yep.
Whereas when you are an LLC and it's you.
You making the executive decision.
You're making the executive decision. When you start a nonprofit, now you got like 4-5 other people trying to tell you what to do. So it's a harder process, but you got to, again, change the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Change the mindset. So when you were saying about celebrating, one of my biggest challenges is I don't celebrate. I don't celebrate, and it's hard for people to work with me because that's one of my cons. One of my cons is I don't celebrate. It's like, yes, I know we just did this. We just got the sale, and it's great. We just got the sale in my head, but the goal is to get 5 sales. So let's keep going.
Right.
When you get to 5 sales, the goal is to get 10.
Don't relax. Like,
let's
now
keep
that's the
going.
thing. You can celebrate, but still it's not time to relax. I mean, we
I
got
don't even
football.
relax, girl. I be
Now
like,
we need to
what
get
you
gas.
celebrating for?
Gas in the car now. We need to get it going. We can't just, okay, we got new tires. We got a new radio. We need to turn the car on and hit the gas. We can't just continue to say, okay, well, I'm glad I got a business. I got an LLC or I got a nonprofit.
Right.
501c3. I have all of this paperwork and I have the bank accounts and I have somebody behind me assisting me with filling out these grants. But what am I going to do with the grants?
Right.
Do I have a plan? Right? Because if you don't have a plan, each grant is going to get denied.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Thank you for talking about planning. You have a business plan. Yeah, a nonprofit word is called a strategic plan. But the point is, you got a plan.
You got a plan.
You got a plan to be successful. You just can't go out here be winging it. You got to plan it. You want to be, I love these like Instagram posts and Facebook posts and LinkedIn. You want to make 6 figures? Like if I take your course, I'm going to make 6 figures. It's
not
good,
without a plan.
and not without a plan.
Not without you executing, because I can give you the plan all day. I can give you the plan right now. I have helped people write so many business plans. I've helped people win grants. I can help you do that, but what are you going to do with it?
What are you going to execute? I can give you the plan, but it's like, what is that saying about taking a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink? It's exactly the same thing. People all the time, I'd be like, how do you raise money? Well, you got to do this, 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 and this. And then they don't want to do that. Well, then
they don't want to do that. They just want to raise the money. Like, I'm going to just come to Sabrina and say, Sabrina, I need you to give me $1,000.
Exactly.
$1,000. Sabrina gonna be like, what are you gonna do with my $1,000?
Exactly.
How is my 1,000 going to help you? Because I might want to give you 10.
Right.
But if you don't have a plan, I'm hesitant to give you 100.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. That is exactly it. But people don't want to put in the execution of the plan.
Okay, so tell me this. I got a question just popped in my head. Light bulb, right? I call them light bulbs. So, so if I'm a personal brand, why would it be beneficial to me to start a nonprofit?
If you're a personal brand, why would it be beneficial to start a nonprofit? Well, of course, people are going to say to start a nonprofit, you're going to get tax write-offs, right? That's what people say. That is not one of the things that really drive people to give to a nonprofit. But what is the benefit of starting a nonprofit as a personal brand is tax write-off for you. So I have a business and my business is doing very well. So if I wanted to create a tax write-off for myself, then I would create a nonprofit, and instead of paying Uncle Sam, this is being recorded. Instead of paying Uncle Sam in taxes, I would make a donation to my nonprofit and then be able to use that to then help people. So that will be one of the benefits of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because like my accountant, he just sent me a text and I haven't read it. I know he's going to tell me I owe IRS about $6,000 and I'd rather give it away to, a nonprofit than to Uncle Sam.
To give it to him.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of people that's why a lot of business financial people create nonprofit foundations.
Because of the influx of revenue that they're trying to hide. I mean,
yes,
save.
For the other common folk like ourselves, like myself, we do it because we want to feel good about helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you do it, you struggle with funding that mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of friends that are attorneys and they're doing very well. And so what they do then is create a foundation. And then when they have that foundation, when they win all their cases, parts of the money go into that foundation. So they have to pay taxes on it. And then they take that when people ask them for sponsorships or ask them to support something, they take that money from
the budget. But that's still the plan.
Yes.
It's in the plan. I don't have to pull money from this tree branch to put it into your business or to support you because I have a bucket for supporting. I have a bucket for donations. I have a bucket. Like for me, I have a time when I'm doing sponsorships. So if you catch me during the time that I'm doing if your event is during that time frame that I'm doing sponsorships, then I'm going to sponsor. And I believe in the cause. Like it's certain things that I sponsor every single year, like New Orleans Black Pride. I sponsor every single year because I feel like, there should be equality. They should have, everybody should be free to be who they want to be.
Right. Exactly.
I believe in it.
Right.
I have friends, I have family that I support wholeheartedly. So of course I'm gonna give. So that's a situation that's near and dear to me. Right. Of course, I support that. Anything with the youth. I'm on like 3 boards for youth empowerment, like Just for Dreamers, Pep Rally with a Purpose, Illuminating the Youth. I support that. I've always, even when I was a kid, I was
nonprofit people listening to this. So are listening to this?
What cause?
Equity in youth.
What cause is near and dear to you? What cause is heartfelt to you? What impact are you trying to leave?
Yep.
Right. And for me, of course, it's with the youth. Yep. It's with the underserved people. It's not just a specific culture, a specific color or race of people. These people are underserved and undervalued. Kids to get swept under the rug all the time. And of course, like I said, LGBT. So there's always people that they're always in a fight. Like kids are in a fight to be heard. Kids are in a fight to be seen. That's when you get the kids that's looking for attention. That's when you get the kids and if I can help you and direct you to go in the right way, you're gonna always remember, that lady told me this a long time ago.
Yes.
You don't even care if you remember my name, but you're gonna remember that skill I gave you. You're gonna know how to write a check, you're gonna know how to count your money before without using a calculator, you're gonna know how to multiply, divide.
Remember that skill was taught to me. You had an impact on my life, but you are a business owner. And I want the nonprofits that listen to this to hear what you are saying. You say, I have my passion points, equity and youth, and you're disclosing those freely. And so what I tell people all the time, and you said you had a time frame in which you support people. And what I tell them all the time is know who the business owners are. Talk to them. They will tell you what they support, what they don't support. They will tell you, I have my season of giving. Do you know their season of giving? Do you know when to approach them? Do you know what they're passionate about? So if I set up a meeting with you, I wouldn't come to you talking about, will you support this environmental project? It's not going to resonate with you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the building of the relationships, getting to know people, know what resonates with them.
Know your donor.
Right, know your donor, and it's beautiful what you're saying. You actually have given us a great example as a business owner who is freely giving to the community, but you have your passion points, and that's great.
Right.
You know who you are, and the best way that nonprofits can help themselves is talk to business owners. They will tell you who they are. They will tell you what they support and
And
don't
I'm
support.
thinking the whole while I was thinking, I don't know nothing about nonprofit.
Yes, you do. You're out there supporting them, and you're doing a great job. And you're very clear
Thank
about
you. Thank
what
you.
you will and will not support, and you have a giving season. And so that's all we can ask for as a nonprofit, to be that clear. That is great.
Yep.
So thank you for all your help for the youth. That's what I spent 20 years of my life doing, youth development. I
Okay.
love Yeah, I ran the local Boys and Girls Club for 20 years. That's where I retired from.
That's
And
amazing.
right, you know, they are the legacy and the underserved. So we're kind of speaking the same language, except I will say this one. There's one that you didn't mention. For me, it's equity, and it's youth, but it's also under the umbrella of equity. Anything that supports girls and women,
Yes. Yes.
I'm there for.
Yes. I'm here for girls and women.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but it's just like everybody put me in the woman empowerment bucket.
Yeah.
So I just kind of fell into, oh, you know what? Maybe I am empowering women. That wasn't really my intention. Like I didn't,
Mhm,
my intention was not focused on empowering women. It
mhm.
was for whomever wanted to receive it, right?
Right.
If you're a man and you're inspired by me, cool. If you're a woman and you're inspired by me, great, right? It wasn't just I'm specifically only talking to women.
Right. But sometimes it comes across and you just accept the blessing or accept
Exactly.
and then just move on. Because I really think, as far as female or women, girl programs specifically,
Hmm.
for me, why I support them, because I really feel like if you change a woman, you change a family. You change a family, you change a generation.
Yep.
And so I really see that it really is along the lines of, youth in general, but I see the impact with women, because women are the one who really shapes the family. And if I can invest in a girl, and get her to graduate or get her with the financial literacy, that's going to impact the family. And
Right.
that's
And get her to where she wants to be.
right. So that's kind of
We
one of the
changing
things.
lives, we changing households, we
Yes.
changing multi
Generations.
multi-generational,
Hmm. And
multi-generational.
that's what I'm about, and so that's why I love it, and that's one of the reasons why I also love the nonprofit world. Like I said, nonprofit is a business.
Mhm.
However, what we deliver is intangible. So let's take Apple for example. This phone, right?
Mhm.
Apple sells this phone, and it's a product, but we spend thousands of dollars on this product.
Mhm.
Whereas a nonprofit is intangible. It's making that youth feel empowered, so that then they can go on and go to college or go on and have this great career. You will not know the impact of your work until years later. They might show up 20 years, 30 years later and say, you know what you said to me that day really made a difference.
Right.
And it's years later.
Literally. Literally.
Yeah.
You don't even know how much value you're building like over the years as
Yeah.
you continue to grow. Your
Yes.
value should be going up. I'm not going
Yeah.
to say your value is going up because it doesn't always, because if you stop and you're stagnant, your value won't go up. But
Right.
if you continue to grow, if you continue to pour into yourself, if you
Hmm.
continue to embrace the things that are coming across your feet,
Yeah.
you will be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. And I just
Mhm.
look at it as creating like this army of empowered youth, this army of empowered girls, this and making the world a better place. So that's why I love the nonprofit world. We're not making a product, but we are making better human beings.
Exactly. I
So
love it. I love it. So, okay, nonprofit world, talk to us. Like, if we don't know anything about nonprofits? Is it only about getting grants? I know it's about making an impact. Like, how do we even start the nonprofit? Give us the tea on nonprofits.
So to start a nonprofit is pretty relatively easy.
Okay.
It starts at the state level, depending on your state. Depends on what paperwork you have to do. So I'll go with the state of Texas. State of Texas, you fill out a form 102, you send them your little $25, and you become a nonprofit at the state level. But then you have to do the federal, and you have to do your EIN, and you have to do your 1023 application, and then you become federal. Now, how do you fund your nonprofit? That is where people struggle.
Because that's going to be completely different from listing your business as an LLC and getting funding for an LLC, because now you're a nonprofit. So you cannot physically, quote unquote, make money.
You cannot, I want to say it differently. You can make money, but what you do with that money is different than what you do with the LLC. So what you do with that money is you have to invest it back into the nonprofit. So then that you can expand your services, which is very much like a business. If I make money, I invest it back. I give myself professional development, so forth and so on. So let's take my organization, for example.
Okay.
So we had a $2.5 million budget. So that $2.5 million budget paid for staff, paid for not my salary, the part-time salary, all of that. Program supplies, anything, transportation. So anything that you needed to run your program. Now, let's say next year we wanted to expand and I wanted to buy a bus. Well, if I wanted to buy a bus, then I know I have to increase my budget or fundraise to
acquire the bus.
To acquire the bus. And so when people think of fundraising, they immediately think of grants, but it's not just grants.
Let's talk about that.
It's not just grants. And as a matter of fact, for a healthy nonprofit, no more than 20% of your revenue should rely on one source. So you need to have multiple sources of funding, multiple. And so grants is just one source. You can also have like service clubs. You can have individual giving. You can have United Way funding. You can have a social enterprise. So a nonprofit can start a for-profit business.
Okay.
The proceeds from that for-profit business goes back into
the nonprofit.
To fund the nonprofit.
Makes sense.
In my case,
it's giving wealth. I need everybody to feel the wealth of this nonprofit conversation that we having right now. Because you breaking it down. Like for me, I just did not even want to be bothered with all the paperwork. But if you're if you already have a budget for certain things, put a nonprofit in a budget, put it in a plan and go forth with it.
Go forth. Yeah. So I am one of the nonprofits here. For a long time, I wanted to own a 7-Eleven. So a nonprofit can own a 7-Eleven. They can own a Ben & Jerry's. They can own, at the time, a Pier 1. There's a lot of franchises. Auntie M's. There's a lot of franchises that a nonprofit can own. And so one of the ones that a local nonprofit here owned, they owned a Blimpies, like a Subway.
Yeah.
So their mission was they worked in housing. And it was to make sure that the people in housing got job skills. And so what they did was they bought the Blimpies franchise and they hired the employees for the Blimpie franchise was from the housing.
Okay.
And so now they're training those people to have job skills. That's a part of their program. So the money that was made from the Blimpies franchise, I mean, it's got its own expenses and stuff.
Right, of course.
The money that was made went back into the nonprofit. So it's as simple as that. For us, when we looked at it, full circle, when we looked at what do we want to own, we looked at, we already have tables. We already have chairs. We already have inflatables. We call them moon jumps. We already have a facility. We have all these things. We even have a U-Haul. Well, let's start a rental company. So we started a rental company.
Gotcha.
So you rent from us. The proceeds from the rental goes back into the nonprofit, which allows us to buy that bus that we need. Allows us to hire additional
I
staff.
hope y'all catching these gems because I think I want a nonprofit.
I have a friend. I'm still trying to figure this one out. Well, it's not true. I kind of got it. A lot of nonprofits buy real estate too.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, when we built our $12 million building, we got 20 acres of land donated to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another 2 acres donated to us.
Okay.
So what we decided to do was sell the 2 acres, and the proceeds from the sale from the 2 acres went back into our not our operating, we put it in an endowment. So what an endowment does is you can't touch the principal of that money. You can only use the interest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we used to work that.
And I tell people to even use CDs in that same way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're disciplined enough, go out there, grab a CD. It doesn't even have to be a lot, but like, what are the odds that you have an extra $600 to $1,000? Right? The average person is probably living check to check right now. But if you're like, you have an average job and then you have your side hustle, you can make $1,000 on your side hustle.
Yeah.
Take that $1,000, put it in a CD for 6 months. Don't touch it. Don't take a penalty. Don't get distracted, right? And once it matures, go ahead, take the interest out, do another one. But this time, instead of just taking that 1,000, you should increase it. So you should have another 1,000 in 6 months. You got 6 months time to gather another 1,000, and you keep on doing that until it's like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Now my CDs, the minimum is like 10,000. Let's put 10,000 in the CD. Mm-hmm. After this might be my vacation money in 6 months. If I do a CD in June, if I do a CD in May, I go on vacation for Christmas or the holidays, my CD is going to mature.
Yes.
That's my vacation money. I don't have to use the money that I'm making right now
to pay for the vacation. Boom. Same concept as a nonprofit. You don't have to use that money. You use the interest to buy the bus. You use the interest to increase staff. You use the interest. You paying for personal, you're paying for vacation, but for the nonprofit, you're just putting it back into the program.
Right.
Staff. To do this, to do that. It's the same. You started a business.
You got to move. You got to know how to move. All the moves got to make sense.
Yep.
Any other nonprofit tips you have before we pivot? Because I got to play a little game with you before.
Before we pivot. Okay, so I guess my last thought is I want the people that are nonprofit to listen to this. You think you have a fundraising problem, and you don't have a fundraising problem. What you have is a board problem. And I'm going to say this. You're not picking the right people for your board. You're probably picking your mother, brother, cousin. And I want you to stop. Your mother, brother, cousin. Quality people. Because your mother, brother, cousin know the same people you know. And you need to pick quality people that are going to help you reach your goal. And not only that, when you talk to those people, talk to them about fundraising. Don't say, oh, I don't want to talk to them about fundraising because I'm going to scare them away. And then they come to their first board meeting and you just all of a sudden tell them they have to fundraise all this money. You just bamboozled them.
Right.
And it's not going to go well for you. So that's my last thought on that.
But I don't think they're going to even believe in the mission anymore, because if I knew what I was getting myself into,
yes, I would have done it.
I could have made a conscious decision.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's better. That's better than saying I wouldn't have done it, but I could have made a conscious decision. Thank you. Thank you for being correct.
I would have made a conscious decision to say no.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Thank you.
That was good. Okay, so I think we got all our nonprofit questions out the way. So your main topics were, of course, leadership, building your brand, and one more.
We talked about so much. is what we
I'm
talked
trying to think. I'm really
about.
trying
So
to
we
think
talked
before you.
about
Oh, branding yourself and building relationships. And you
yes,
gave us the build method. Like
yes,
everybody needs to apply the build method, whether
yes,
you are a business owner or a nonprofit,
yes.
because I think it was the things that you said in the beginning of this interview were essential to business owners' growth. And I
Yes.
feel like so many times we hold ourselves stagnant due to complacency, due to being uncomfortable with a new change in surroundings, a new change of environment, or like even choosing the wrong people to be on your board because you know them or you have history with them. Don't do that. That's what I got. If I could just wrap up the whole episode in 3 minutes, just pay attention to what your end goal is. Have a plan, strategize how you're going to make this plan work for your business. And of course, not just your business, your nonprofit or whatever it is that you want to do. Make sure that you are being 100% decisive, choosing only quality people, and it's aligning with something that you believe in.
Thank you. Boom. There you go.
Drops
There you
mic.
go.
I'm just
Yep.
saying we could drop the mic on that
Yep,
one.
you still can. That's it. That's it. That's exactly what it is. Thank
So
you.
to end the show, wait, first of all, before we even get into the game, tell everybody how can they connect with you. I see the website is going across the bottom, but how can we connect with you, follow you, and tap in about nonprofits if we need to?
So, they say you should just do one call to action because people get distracted.
Let's
So
do
the
it.
website is www.supportingworldhope.com. Once you get to that website, you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, but that website will get you to all of those places. So start there.
Start there. Let's go to her website, you guys. Supportingworldhope.com. Again, her name is Sabrina Walker-Hernandez. And of course, she's a winning woman. That's why she's here on Wednesday at Convos. We are going to play a game. It's called This or That.
Okay.
We don't have time to think about it. Okay. You just have to answer. First answer that comes to your mind.
I will only do it if you say, answer this question, baby.
So answer these questions, baby. Answer these questions, baby. All right. So the first one I want to say, if you're traveling, do you want to go somewhere where it snows or where it's the beach?
Beach.
Okay, beach. What about pets? You want a frog or a dog?
Dog.
If you are a single woman and you home alone, you would rather cut the grass or take the trash out?
Oh, Jesus. Put the trash out, I guess. I don't do none of that. Okay, just so you know. Take trash out.
Okay, laundry or dry cleaning?
Dry cleaning.
The way your life set up, come get this stuff. Do you want to drive or fly? Like road
Fly.
trip or catch a flight?
Fly.
Fly me out. Y'all said Sabrina said fly her out. Put that in the budget on your nonprofit.
That's right. Fly. Exactly right.
Okay, what about we talking men here? Tall or short?
I like short man. I'm 4'11", and my husband's only like 5'4". I'm cool with that.
Okay. That is a new one. Nobody ever said short. Okay.
I know, but
Bald or beard?
don't go to sleep on the short.
I mean, yeah, bald head or beard?
Oh, beard.
Okay, so now when we dressing, are we dressing up or we dressing down? You want heels or sneakers?
Heels.
Movies or dinner?
Movies.
Massage or nail date?
Massage.
Would you prefer somebody to be loyal to you or respect you?
Ooh.
You taking too long.
Oh, because that's a deep one. Oh, I'm taking too long. Loyal, but then you don't respect me. But you, I need both of those.
We need one or the other.
But you respect me, but you're gonna cheat on me. But you're loyal, but you're gonna disrespect me. I don't want no loyal fool. Respect. I changed my mind. Respect.
Respect. Okay. I like
At
respect.
least you're gonna hide it if you ain't loyal, because you respect me. Okay. Yeah, respect.
Last one, cash or credit.
Oh, I'm credit. I'm sorry. I know that's bad for what you do. I know. You got to work with me. We all have our issues. I want the points. I want points.
It's okay to use the cash. The credit. Just make sure you got the cash to pay it back. That's all.
Keep it back. I
If you're
know,
gonna
like,
use OPM, pay them people their money back. That's my only. That's the only thing I can say. The people
I've
say,
been trying to pay it back every month and
use
not carry a balance.
use OPM, and then now you in debt because you didn't listen to these people that don't pay their bills telling you to use OPM and just building up. Don't do that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
All right. This was really, really good. My last question for you is one word to describe where you are right now, Sabrina.
I'm in a growth.
Growth. All right, you can expound on it. You're in a growth.
Well,
phase.
I'm in a growth phase. I'm kicking off my keynote speaking, and I've got booked for my first job. They're flying me to Florida. I'm so excited about it.
Okay.
So growth.
I love that.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
And I of course always want to see you winning and wealthy. I appreciate you for coming on Convos and dropping these nonprofit leadership, brand building tips and relationship building tips. It's a lot of gems, y'all. Get y'all notebooks out. Make sure y'all share this with a friend. And of course, we will be happy to have you back after you have your speaking engagement to tell us all about it.
Yes, I would love to come back and tell you how nervous I was and how it went. So
Thank you so much, and you have a great day.
thank you.